Hello, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show on Haske TV. As usual, we share our thoughts and perspectives on the talking points on burning issues in the country and across the globe. With me in the studio is,
Ahmed Abubakar.
and as usual, I'm your uncle Musa Agbado. Today, we have a very special session. It's the World Optometry Week. Uh, we have Dr. Angela, the Secretary National Optometric Association, Taraba State Chapter, to create awareness and tell us more about what they do as an association. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's World Optometry Week,
Yes.
and here in Taraba State, you are creating awareness. Last week, you did World Glaucoma Week.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing a lot. Yeah, so you can tell us more.
Okay. All of our activities started last week. We had the World Glaucoma Week, which we wrapped up on Friday. Then this week, starting on Monday, we are having a optometric week, and today we'll be having a workshop at Federal Medical Center by 10 o'clock. We're just trying to let the public know with regards to World Optometry Week, who we are as optometrists, what we do, our role in healthcare. So that's the essence of what we are trying to create the awareness, because we know that a lot of people don't know who is an optometrist. A lot of people call us opticians, some call us oculists, some call us refractionists. We have different names. So when you come to eye care, we have like four different personnel that take care of the eye. We have the ophthalmologist, optometrist, optomic nurse, and then the optician. So each has its own area it contributes to give the patient the best. So we just want to like, okay, you'll be hearing about optometrists. This is who we are. We are primary eye care doctors. We are healthcare professionals that specialize in the eye. When you come to eye check or anything that has to do with eye check or eye care, optometrists are the first point of call before meeting any other professionals attached to eye care. So we want to create that awareness this week and let people know more about us. And it's very, very necessary that we do that, especially in the north here, because we know that unlike in the south, that we have a lot of universities that offer optometry. It just recently, I think in Bauchi, they just started optometry all within the northeast. Okay, they started in Kano a few years ago, and now Bauchi. Then when you go to northwest, I think it's only Sokoto that is offering the course. So within the northern area, optometries are just coming up. Then when you go down south, we have a lot of universities. AFSU is there, Abia State University, Imo State University, University of Benin, Madonna. A lot of them have been offering the courses for more than 20 years now. So within the north here, I want to also create the awareness so that people know what we do and possibly encourage their wards, their children to go for such a course. Yes.
To
Ahmed, let's hear
kamar
from you.
kamar yadda masu kallo ta yi bayani, tana bayani ne akan matsaloli na idanu. Ita likita ce wanda sun kware a ɓangaren idanu, wanda idan mutum yana da matsalan idanu, to su ne mutane na farko da ya kamata mutum ya nema domin su kula da shi. Ta zo wannan zaure namu ne ta mana bayani saboda mutane da dama idan suna da matsalolin idanu ba su san ina za su ba. So duk lokacin da aka yi magana kan optometry, ana maganar likitoci ne wanda suka kware ɓangaren idanu, musamman a matakin farko. Idan ka ɗan samu matsala idonka kana jin kasa-kasa ne, ko kana jin zafi ne, ko idonka yana yin ja da sauran matsaloli na idanu, ko yana ƙaiƙayi, so duk inda ka je ka ga an rubuta optometry, so wannan yana nuna su ne ɓangaren likitoci da suke kula da idanu. So shi sa ta zo musamman ne daga kudu, take ta zo saboda ta tabbatar cewa mutane sun fahimci menene suke yi. Abinda kuma suke shi ne suna kula da idanu. Muna fata cikin wannan shiri, kamar yadda muke jan ragaman shirin nan, za ta ci gaba da mana bayani ingantacce kuma da kuma cikakken bayani domin kowa ya fahimci dalilin da ya sa ta zo wannan zaure namu na breakfast show yau Juma'a.
Well, Dr. Angela, hope will be at your workshop later in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
But generally, are there lifestyle that affects vision?
Yes, there are a lot of lifestyles, especially negative lifestyles that can affect vision. One of it is poor diet. Um, if we don't take enough vitamins, or our food not containing enough vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and E, basically, and those that contain omega fatty acid. These are some of the nutrients that the eye really need very well for the vision to really function properly. Apart from poor diet, we also have excess um screen time. This one is just common. Is affecting everybody. When we talk about excess screen time, like using the phone or the computer and all these gadgets all the time, focusing on the eye, which we are seeing very very prevalent and paramount within us now, because everybody wants to connect to the internet and all that. So excess use or exposure of the eye to screen time is also affecting the eye. That's what we call computer eye syndrome, when you are always looking at the phone or looking at the light without releasing the eye, because the eye normally work in what we call rule 20-20-20, in the sense that you look at 20 minutes, you use 20 minutes, look at a distance at 20 feet, allow your eye to focus for 20 seconds. That is naturally how the eye works. 20 minutes or 20 seconds at 20 feet. But when you see that you're always busy, possibly somebody that has to use the laptop or use the phone, you have to do focusing. You know that naturally you're going to break that rule. So all these things will contribute to what we call eye strain. And not only that, it has been seen that there's emission of blue light coming out from phones, laptops, and all that, and the effect affects the macula, the back of the eye. So that kind of habit, which is common to everybody now, we have to look into it, because there is a deadly effect to our vision. Always looking at the phone, always looking at the system, always looking to all these gadgets, television, and all that. Anything that emits light, we have to be very careful. The duration we are doing the focusing. Consciously look at it and try to release the eye so that the eye will be able to collect and function as it's supposed. Another one is smoking and drinking of alcohol. This can affect the nerves of the eye. It can affect also eye functioning or the vision. Another thing again is constant rubbing of the eye. Possibly people that have allergy, whenever your eye is scratching you, just the normal rubbing can affect some layers of the eye that can result to blurriness of vision. Apart from that, also we can see in the area of light, maybe it's under the sun, people walking under the sun, like this during this season now that the weather is too hot and all that. It's also advisable that if you must be under the sun or if you must use those computers and all that, you use a protective glass. So these are not some of the habits naturally we see every day. We are used to it, but they are definitely going to affect our
Before we go to Ahmed, last week you marked World
glaucoma.
Glaucoma Week.
Yes.
Can you briefly talk on that?
Okay. Yes, glaucoma calls for awareness. Is a public health issue because of the nature of glaucoma. Glaucoma, another name we give to glaucoma is silent thief of the eye. Is a group of eye diseases that can cause irreversible blindness. Glaucoma is an eye condition that can affect the eye, and the patient itself will not have any symptom. No pain, no itching, nothing. The eye is okay. The patient is seeing very well, but the eye is green. Possibly at the 70-80%, when the eye is already gone, that is when the patient will begin to discover, I can now not walk well or see my environment well. And this is because we have two types of vision. We have central vision, we have peripheral vision. So peripheral vision is what helps you to see at your as like if people that are driving and all that, you have to look at your as in like 360 degrees by hand. So glaucoma start attacking from the periphery. So because the person is still seeing with the central, so feel like I'm okay. My eye, there's no problem with me. So before you know it, is when it might started from here and getting to that central, then the person will now notice by then the eye is gone and it's gone. And it sometimes runs in families. A lot of people, maybe their grannies or relations, have been blind before. Also, like this person might be susceptible to be a victim of glaucoma. And some people that have had a hit on the eye, if you know that you have trauma, anything have ever hit on your eye from your growing up, possibly you didn't go to hospital, you just buy some drugs from chemists and it got resolved. The possibility of that blow to attack the back of the eye where we call the optic nerve is there. Because the eye has what we call, it has a pressure, just like the heart, the range, like BP now, you say 180 over 120 over 80, that's the range whereby if it crosses, you know that these have gone up hypertension or hypotension. So the eye also has its own range. There's a liquid in the eye that nourishes the eye. Once it's done, then it go back through an opening. We call it trabecular mesh opening, like a sieve. So that is the way it has been moving. So anything that hits the eye will possibly block that place that the liquid will pass. And once there is a block, the pressure will start rising. So possibly the patient might experience possibly pain, redness, and all that. Once you're having a severe kind of pain and redness, it's not something you just buy drug and try to like, okay, let me resolve it. You have to see your eye doctor. So glaucoma is an eye case that the nature irreversible, unlike cataract, that if you have cataract, you can undergo surgery and that one is okay. Glaucoma, even if you do surgery, you'll still be managing it till throughout life. And the essence of the management is not even to make the sight better. Unlike cataract, if you do surgery, the eye will be better. This one, you are doing the surgery or you're using the eye drop to make it not to be worse, because anyone that has been affected can never be reversed. So that's why we are calling on people. Go and test your eye. Whether you have eye problem or not, just go and check your eye, because you might have the symptom, the sign, you will not know. So it's when we screen you, like the one we did last week, there's a lot of people having the sign and they don't even know. We have to refer them, please go for management so that this vision can be preserved.
Well, thank you very much for that piece of information. Ahmed?
Masu kallon mu, kamar yadda Dr. Mrs. Angela Oleka ta yi bayani, da farko dai ɗaya daga cikin abubuwan da suke kawo matsala a idanu shine idan mutum yana da tarihin matsalan ido a family, musamman wataƙila a ce mahaifiyarka tana da matsalan ido ko kuma mahaifinka na da matsalan ido ko kuma kakanni, matukar akwai mai matsalar ido a family ɗinku wanda jininka ne, iyaye kenan, akwai yiwuwar mutum zai kamu da ciwon ido. So abu na biyu kuma, kamar yadda doctor ta yi bayani, shine akwai abubuwa da suke kawo ciwon ido, musamman idan mutum akwai abincin da ya kamata ya rika yawanci, abinci da suke da sinadarai na vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C. Akwai sinadarai a cikin waɗannan abincin da suke taimakawa idanu. Matukar mutum baya samun wannan kalan abincin yana ci, so akwai yiwuwar zai iya samun matsalan idanu. Abu na gaba, kamar yadda doctor ta yi bayani, shine yawan kallon screen, ko screen na computer ko screen na waya. Ya kamata mutane su rage yawan kallon waya. Ka rike waya ko kuma ka zauna a computer kai ta kallo na mintuna da yawa, yana kawo matsala. Ya kamata idan mutum ya dan kalli fiskan computer ko waya na dan mintuna, ya bari daga baya ya sake ci gaba. Idan ka samu awoyi kana kallon fiskan computer, akwai matsala. Ta yi bayani kuma akan susa idanu. Wani misali, kana jin kaikayin idanu, idan kana susa idanu zaka iya samun matsalan idanu. So wannan suna daga cikin dalilai da ta bayyana, wanda cewa matukar idan mutum yana da waɗannan abubuwa, yana jin su ko kuma yana yin wannan abubuwa, so zai iya samun matsalan ciwon idanu. So akwai bukata a rage, a ci abinci da ake bukata da suke da sinadarai da za su karfafa idanun mutum. Kamar misali, sinadarin vitamin A mun sani akwai irin su carrot, wanda ana ci yana taimakawa. So ya kamata mutane su rika cin wannan abincin, kar su zauna sai su rika cin abinci kawai mai gina jiki ko kuma abinci mai sa ƙarfi, kamar irin su carbohydrate. Bai kamata ba, ya kamata a rika cin vitamin A, irin su carrot kamar yadda na yi bayani, zai taimaka. A rage kuma kallon computer da kuma danna waya na lokuta da nisa da masu tsawo, su ma suna taimakawa sosai. So wannan yana daga cikin dalilai da ta bayyana waɗanda suke kawo matsalan idanu. Ya kamata kuma masu kallo, muna fata suna sauraro kuma suna kallon abin da take bayani akai, kuma za su yi amfani da waɗannan shawarwari da take barawa domin a samu waraka. Kuma ta yi bayani cewa duk wanda yake matsayin shi na ɗan adam, ba sai ka zauna ka ji alaman ciwon ido ba, ya kamata ka je ka ga doctor. Ba sai lallai ka fara jin idanunka na kaikayi ko idanunka ya yi ja ko idanunka yana ƙasa-ƙasa ko yana fidda hawaye kafin za ka je likita ba. Domin ta ce a biki da suka shirya na ilmantarwa da kuma faɗakar da mutane akan matsalolin ciwon idanu, sun samu mutane da dama wanda ba su taɓa tunani suna da matsalar ciwon idanu ba, amma da aka je aka gwada su, an samu suna da matsala na glaucoma, wanda matsalar glaucoma matsala ce babba da take lalata ido, mutum ya zama makaho gaba ɗaya. Kuma kamar da ta yi bayani, ya kamata ta nace cewa mutane su rika zuwa ɗin suna duba idanunsu, ba sai sun ji wata matsala a idanu ba, kamar yadda suka yi binciken su ya nuna mutane da dama ba sa zuwa asibiti sai sun ji cewar suna da matsala, ko kuma sai sun ji labari akwai wasu ƙwararru sun zo za su duba idanu kafin su je. Ya kamata a rika zuwa akai-akai ne, a bayanin da take nan. So a cikin shirin namu kuma za mu ɗora, kamar yadda kuka sani lokaci na mana harara, amma kuma za mu ɗan duba ɗan batu kuma da za mu duba shine matsalar siyasa, ko in ce ƙiƙaƙa da Hausawa suke cewa a jihar Rivers. 'Yan Najeriya da dama lauyoyi ne, likitoci ne, 'yan siyasa ne da ma talaka na tofa albarkacin bakin shi sakamakon dokan ta ɓaci da shugaban ƙasa Ahmed Bola Tinubu a Rivers, wanda masu sanin doka sun ce bai kamata ba, domin ba yi da hurumi da zai je ya yi dokan ta ɓaci a Rivers, ko da ya kamata a yi haka ɗin idan ana rikici ne. Wannan kuma rikici ne tsakanin tsohon gwamna Wuke da kuma gwamna mai ci Fubara, wanda ya kamata a ce shugaban ƙasa ya shiga tsakani ne, ya yi abin da ya kamata, amma ba ya kori gwamna mai ci ba. So Musa, me zaka ce, what do you have to say concerning the Rivers political crisis that even led to the should I say suspension or dethronement of the elected governor of Rivers State, Wara?
The declaration, or will I say the proclamation of emergency in Rivers State has drawn a whole lot of comment from opposition leaders, from the Nigerian Bar Association, Nigerian Labour Congress, and a whole lot of people. And it's a thing of concern seeing that the National Assembly, the both arms, the Senate and the House of Representatives, yesterday rectified the emergency rule in Rivers State as proclaimed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There are people, most especially like the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, that are insisting, because naturally, by the Constitution, the president or the National Assembly, before they rectified the proclamation, there must be two-thirds majority. That's in the House of Representatives. We are talking about 240 members. And in the Senate, we are talking of 53 senators.
53
and
70.
Yes, 73 senators. Sorry, 109. We're talking about 73 senators. And if you see the way the proceedings went, he is of the opinion that a voice vote cannot determine two-third majority. And actually, Ahmed, I feel matters of sensitive nature like this, senators and our lawmakers in the House of Representatives, it should not be a voice vote. It should be a scenario where we will know where this person stands, even for historic purposes.
Every member of
Yes,
the House of Representatives should
yes,
stand
issues
and
like
tell
sensitive,
Nigerians
like
his position.
yes, because issues like this are sensitive. It's just like let's say a vote on abortion or on LGBTQ, all this gay stuff and the rest of it. So we should know where a senator or a lawmaker in the House of Representatives stand, even for historic purpose. We should know this person voted for this, this person voted against. And ultimately, as a Nigerian, I feel I have an opinion. I feel the people of Rivers State are at the receiving end. And most especially, we said when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. So when two political gladiators are fighting, the people at the receiving end are the people of Rivers State. See, for instance, where before now they said the allocation has been ceased. So is the civil servant
getting their salaries?
They will now be difficult, and they have no role in what was happening.
Certain social services, the governor
present the budget. So certain social services that was paid for from the government allocation will not be able to be paid, and people will be at the receiving end. So I feel as much as possible, we should not have this proclamation of emergency rule, because it's obvious there is no solution still in place.
And apart from that, Musa, Nigerians are also complaining that it's the same Wuke that benefited from this proclamation. because the problem is that is the misunderstanding between former Governor Wike, who is now the Minister of the FCT, and the Governor Fubara. And at the end of the day, whether Fubara was impeached or not, the same thing that was supposed to be done against Fubara has already happened to Fubara again. So it's like the same person that wanted to hijack River State is still benefiting from what Mr. President did.
And Ahmed, perception matters, and of a truth, that's how a whole lot of Nigerians see exactly that's what is playing out in Rivers State, because there are two parties to this crisis. Essentially, there are two actors: the former governor and
the present governor,
the suspended governor, which is and most people are now arguing that it's not being removed, it's being suspended. I mean, let's be realistic. When you are suspended, you are being stopped from, will I say, performing your function. You are being stopped from doing certain things.
As an elected
so
governor,
that means you are removed. So it's just being half clever saying this person is being suspended and not removed. And I feel the Constitution has not made provisions for that. We had instances in the past where President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan declared state of emergency, and there was a serious security issue as at that time, but the governors still maintained their position. They only collaborated with the federal forces to mitigate, ensure peace and
but in the case of River, it's only the fighting is all the misunderstanding, so to say, is only between the former Governor Wuki and the suspended Governor of River State. So it's like directly or indirectly, the people of River State have nothing to do with this thing. There is no any connection between the people of River State who elected the governor and the misunderstanding between Wuki and the suspended governor.
Yes, and we should be careful not to set a precedent, because in this kind of scenario, there is tendency for abuse. For instance, we will now have a president in the future that is so autocratic, by the slightest chance or slightest opportunity, he will now declare a state of emergency and suspend the government.
Like
so yes, and I must commend the Nigerian Bar Association for coming out and giving a clear legal standing on the issue, that the president does not have the powers to remove an elected governor, deputy governor, and the legislative arm of government. And I hope there is still rooms, just as suggested by the National Assembly, that a group of eminent Nigerians should be called upon so as to provide, will I say, make the worrying factors, yes, bring them to the table, provide a solution, make them see reasons to allow peace for the to reign in Rivers State.
Gaskiya haka ne a Musa, kamar yadda kai magana ta gaskiya 'yan Najeriya suna korafi cewar abin da shugaban kasa Ahmed Bola Tinubu a jihar Rivers bai dace ba, domin dokan Najeriya ko in ce kundin tsarin mulkin Najeriya bai ba shi damar yin hakan ba, saboda demokaradiyya muke ciki, kuma gwamnan nan zaben sa aka yi, 'yan Rivers ne suka zaɓe shi, so bai da dama, kuma ba rigima ake ba. Kamar yadda muka bada misali, an samu irin waɗannan matsalolin a baya lokacin Goodluck Jonathan ya declaring state of emergency, ma'ana dokar ta ɓaci a jihar Borno da jihar Yobe, ina ga da Adamawa State. So amma hakan bai sa ya cire gwamnoni ba. Gwamnonin suna kan kujerunsu, ana tura musu kuɗaɗe da doka ya ce gwamnatin tarayya ta tura musu, suna ayyuka, suna biyan ma'aikata albashi da sauransu. Kawai dai harkan tsaron ne gwamnatin tarayya ta karɓa, saboda bata gamsu cewar gwamnonin za su iya tabbatar da tsaro a jihohi guda uku ba. So sai gashi kuma shi kwatsam shugaban kasa na yanzu Ahmed Bola Tinubu ya zo ya yi dokan ta ɓaci, wanda dokan Najeriya bai ba shi dama ba. Ina ya samu wannan dokan? Suna magana section 305, wanda lauyoyi masana sun tabbata sun ce ba haka dokan ba, bai fahimci dokan ba, ko kuma ya yi amfani da watakila mu ce son zuciyarsa, domin bai kamata ba. Ya kamata, kamar da kai magana, manya-manyan ƙasa a Najeriya, musamman tsofin shugabanni da waɗanda suke da mutunci a idon mutane, su zauna a kira wuken nan, a kira shi gwamnan nan, a sasanta matsalan nan domin ya koma kan kujerar shi. Domin kowa riga ya sani shi tsohon gwamna Wuke shi ne yake da rashin fahimta da gwamna, so bai kamata a ce kuma matsalan ya zama matsalan Rivers ba. Su Rivers me suka yi? Kaga su an ba kyauta musu ba, an toye musu hakkin su, domin su sun zaɓi gwamna a ce an gagara barin gwamna ya je ya kai budget na shekara 2025, yanzu muna watan uku yau 21, watan ya kusan karewa. So yaya za ka ji idan kai ne aka maka haka? Ina ayyukan da ya kamata a jihar Rivers a wannan shekaran? Ina kuɗin albashin ma'aikata? Ƙananan hukumi wajen 20 da wani abu, ga kuma ma'aikatan jiha da suke aiki. So idan ka duba waɗannan abubuwa sai ka ga 'yan jihar Rivers su suka wahala, suke shan wahala, kuma matsalar bai kai a ce shi shugaban ƙasa ya yi dokan ta ɓaci a jihar Rivers ba. Ya kamata ce 'yan Najeriya gaskiya manya-manyan mu su samu shugaban ƙasa, a samu shi wuken nan shi ɗan Najeriya ne, shi ma bai fi ƙarfin doka ba, amma abubuwan da suke faru sai ga ƙarfin wuken nan ko gwamna na jiha kusan bai kai shi ƙarfi ba, domin kun da muka sani a constitution Najeriya gwamna ya fi minista na FCT, domin FCT ba jiha ba ce, appointment ne. Tinubu ne ya ɗauki ministan nan ya bashi, ya kamata ya yi calling nashi to order, a kira shi, ajiye shi, ya yi abin da ya kamata. In ba ka bai fi ƙarfin a cire shi ba shi kadai. Akwai wasu lokacin sun zama ministan Abuja ma daga 80s, daga 90s, 80s, 90s har zuwa daga 1999 zuwa yanzu, wanda lokacin ma ba a san ma wuke ba a san ina yake ba. So bai kamata shi ya samu wannan daman kuma ya yi amfani da wannan daman kuma ya kawo rigima ba. Shugaban ƙasa shine ke da cikakken fawa, shine shugaban rundunan masu tsaro gaba ɗaya Najeriya, yana da fawa da zai canza wuke idan ya ki ji, yana da fawa kuma da zai kira shi da gwamna, kare yi son kai, domin abin da ya faru nan gaskiya son kai ne.
Well, in all fairness to the president, in his statement, he said both factions or the warring parties ignored his counsels. But there is a saying that says, Ahmed, that you cannot cry more than the brief. In this circumstance is Governor Fubara. If he will allow this to just go like that, but I feel if I was in his shoe, I'm not his advisor, he should go to the court, because I feel that is where we seek redress peacefully. And I feel he should run to the court for interpretation. Does the president really have the power to remove or sack or suspend an elected governor? Because we have a section of the Constitution that has clearly stated conditions where an elected governor or deputy will be removed. Either he died in office, he resigned, is incapacitated, or is impeached. And declaring state of emergency is not one of those reasons. But yes, I'm not one of advisors of Governor Fubara, but I feel he has the right to seek redress in court.
Haka ne, kamar da kai bayani Musa, maganan ka haka ne. Ya kamata ce kafin shugaba Bola Tinubu ya dauki wannan mataki, ya kamata ya je kotu da mishi bayani. Yana da ƙarfi, dokan Najeriya ta ba shi dama ya iya cire zababben gona, ko bai kamata ya cire zababben gona ba. Inda ya yi haka, ina ga da ba a shiga wannan yanayin ba. Ina ga Musa kaman duka a nan za mu dasa aya a cikin wannan shiri namu. Na san yau innan kan gaskiya mun yi surutun yayi yawa har mun wuce lokacin da ya kamata. So masu kallo, duka daga nan za mu dasa aya cikin wannan shiri namu na Breakfast Show, wanda muke kawo muku kowace Juma'a da kuma sauran ranaku daga Litinin zuwa Alhamis. Muna fata kun ji daɗin shirin namu na yau, kuma za ku ci gaba da kallon mu a daidai wannan lokaci. A madadin wanda suka haɗa mu tare da ku, da abokin aiki na Musa.